Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel, and this is chapter 41, the half of it. Let's see what the boy next door brings to us. Yeah, I like the sound of it, the half of it. Quality. Well, I guess I have to put a warning for, what to say, YouTube too. No playing is massive. When we were kids, a fight had with Addy would turn my whole world upside down. Whom would I play with at recess? Who had I tell my weirdest, darkest secrets to? Not having Addy was like having air. Not having air, oh my god. This wasn't the first time I had ever let Addy down, but it was the one that hurt the worst. I dragged myself out of the bed one Sunday morning, trying to resist the urge to text Addy some random good morning message. Okay, get up, go about your day, be normal. Oh, well, it was still weird to even have a bedroom on the second thought. Some days I woke up and forgot I wasn't in my old house. I headed down the stairs, still unused to the heated flooring and hand carved railings. Morning, Dad. Son. I grimaced at his skirt tone and started pouring myself some cereal. No, no, you have had enough carbs for the week. It's protein day. I barely had enough time to react as he slid a bottle of my way. It was heavy, full of a protein shake. Dad, don't you think I can relax for one day? It's one bowl of cereal. That's the kind of attitude for weak minded kids who aren't serious about their futures. Gotta keep those muscles in the shape for next round of interviews with that scout. Soon you'll be following my footsteps on as Carter quarterback at the Air Force Academy. Just a minute. Yeah, so that about that scholarship. I'm not sure I wanna be logged into the. This is the future we decided on. Don't tell me you have got cold feet at the finish line. Dad, football is fun, but it's just a game. I don't want that to be the only thing that defines me. I don't know if I can go at someone else's expense. Even want to play long term. There are other ways to get scholarships. Enough. I won't stand here and listen to you pissing on everything I have sacrificed to get us to this point. You are such a disappointment. All you do is make some mistake after mistake and leave me to clean up your mess. If it wasn't for you, no Harris wouldn't have robbed our old house in first place. Isn't that right? Half forgotten memories from freshman year came rushing back to my mind. Now and I laughing at football practice, hanging out after school, that terrible night at our old house. If you didn't trust people so easily, you would have seen Harris for what he is. A no good low life who was only out to get our crash. Part of me knew it wasn't that simple. Noah and I had been friends once, hadn't we? Dad, you don't know the whole story. Let's just leave it in the past. Dad, you don't know what it was like. And it all came spilling out. How Noah Harris had been my best friend at Eastbridge. How we had just clicked. Ada and I have always been attached at the hip, but after my mom passed away, freshman year, things changed. We were all hurting. And with Adi gone most days, I guess I needed someone to fill the void. I met Noah Harris at tryouts for the junior varsity football. He was sitting by himself and I claimed the seat next to him. Hey, seat taken? Oh, no, go ahead. Welcome to tryouts. Now you might just be junior varsity, but don't think for a minute I am gonna be easy on you kids. I could tell the kid next he's compensating for something. Now snorted on his sports drink and coach immediately cut us a glare. What did I just say? I am not going easy on you just because you are new. Both of you owe me 10 laps. We scrambled down to the track. The first laps of the season were always brutal, and by the fifth, both Noah and I had to take a break. Sorry, I got us in trouble. Should have kept my mouth shut. Don't worry, it was totally worth it. You think so? Yeah, I don't know many people here yet. It's nice. We bumped fists, and that was the start of everything. Oh god, this just seems weird. My two boys used to be best friends once. We became fast friends, and by winter we were inseparable. Oh god. Did you see Mr. Jackson's face when the frog started moving? I thought he was gonna faint. I don't think anyone except our anatomy class to have live models. But Noah's face fell as one of our classmates strolled up to us. "'Tis the season for charity, huh, Jennings? Good for you, giving back to the less fortunate." Noah clenched his jaw and looked away, and Darren had already started to smirk. I wanted to wipe it right off his face. "Hey Darren, the only thing less fortunate is your face. I must have much better taste than you do." That that insult is gonna cost you down the line, Jennings. Oh, and Darren, one day you and I are going to have a little follow-up conversation. I'll be looking forward to it. Darren sculled off, and Noah turned to me with a smile. "That was cool of you. Usually I'm the one picking fights." Hey, that's what friends are for. And that's what our friendship was like. We always had each other's back, no matter what.
Okay, so here this is unbelievable that these two are so close. And how did they fight right now? Which is why I didn't think anything of inviting him over to my house before we moved. Okay, whoa, this is where you live. Don't trip over your jaw, man. It's just your house. My parents have actually been itching to move some space bigger. My mom's always complaining she wants a nicer walk-in closet. I have never lived somewhere with enough space for a walk-in closet, period. Your place is huge. I'll give you a tour so you don't get lost. This is the living room. The bathroom's that way, and my room's up there. Let's go. My dad's new electric car in the garage. It's so high tech. You don't even need to drive it. It's automatic. I didn't even know how technically reached technology reached that point already. As far as I was concerned, what was mine was his. Then one day things changed. I didn't know it that time. It just gonna suck being at the house all by myself. Most of the time I don't mind, for a whole weekend. I was wondering if I could crash at yours. We'll be out of town this weekend, but why don't I just give you the security code to get in? You'll have the full access to the house and no one will know. I wrote down the code to our garage door and slid it over to him. I didn't know then what a huge mistake that was. It didn't happen that weekend, but a few weeks later, I was reading a book when I heard a commotion out front door. "Whoever you are, you picked the wrong house." I froze. I heard a door slam, and then a deafening crackle ripped through the night. I have only heard the sound once in my life, but it was something I'll never forget. "Dad." I rushed to my window to see my dad lowering his gun as a figure in the shadows limped off into the woods. In the dark, the person was unrecognizable, but the silhouette was eerily familiar. "No." I had like to report an attempt robbery. "No." I didn't get a good look at the guy before he ran off. Dad's voice faded as he dug back inside. He had no clue who it was, but I had an idea. But I needed to confirm it for sure. So I snuck out the window and went after Noah. Well, see, I couldn't have known he had betrayed me. He was my best friend, Dad. You reminisced about your history with Noah. Friend, you throw that word around to anyone who'll pay you the slightest bit of attention. Weak. It froze me in my tracks as one last memory flashed in my mind. The one I could never seem to forget, no matter how hard I tried. I am weak. What about you? I haven't forgotten what the cops did after the burglary, Dad. What happened to Noah? What you let happen to him? Don't you mean what we let happen to him? No, that's not what happened. I tried. My mind raced and suddenly I was back to that night, stumbling through the woods searching for Noah. No. I found him crumpled against a tree, pressing his hands to his stomach. Urgh. Oh god, a gunshot. Yeah, your dad. He shot me. Maybe my dad wouldn't have shot you if you weren't sneaking around our house. How did you even get in? Noah looked away, gritting his teeth. The code. You used the code to our security system that I gave you. It doesn't matter now. I need to get to my brother. As mad as I was, I couldn't just let him bleed out on the ground. I held him up and he leaned on me all the way back to my dad's car. Wait, do you even know how to drive? No, but I'll manage. My dad's car has some fancy self driving features. You can explain everything on the way to the hospital. No, no hospitals. They'll turn me in. Shut up, I'm not gonna let you die. Jail might suck, but it's better than the morgue. Please, Mason, just take me to my brother. He's waiting for me at the bus station. He said he had wait. He'll know what to do. I ignored him and somehow we arrived at the hospital in one piece. He glared at me as we pulled in, even as the EMT loaded him onto the coronary. Family only. I'm his cousin. The EMT raised an eyebrow but didn't say a word, and I followed them into the emergency. Was shot. Before he could reply, the doors banged open and the police swarmed the room along the EMT who had wheels us in. Officers, these are the boys who came in a nice car, but without warning, the nearest cop used her elbow to pin Naw against the gurney, while another yanked me from my seat and slammed me to the floor. Oof. You like robbing hard-working people? Here's a tip. Next time, steal a less flashy getaway car. Yeah. Leave him out of it. He had nothing to do with it. A searing pain shot through my shoulder as the officer tried to wrangle my arm behind my back. Ow, you're hurting me. Stop resisting. Just when I thought the pain in my shoulder couldn't get any worse, a shadow fell over us. What are you doing? That's not the boy who robbed me. That's my son. That's what I am trying to tell you. That's Mason Jennings. His dad's the principal at East Ridge High School. The officer relaxed his grip and stared into my face, pressed against the linoleum. My kid goes to East Ridge. Hey, aren't you the one from JV Quarterbacks? And just like that, he offered me a hand up and clapped me on my still aching shoulder. You have got a hell of an arm, kid. From the bed, Naw howled in pain as another officer struggled to hold him down. Looking nervous, the EMT walked off into another room like nothing was happening. Put your moan. The pain in his voice helped me find mine, and I managed to croak out. Please, he's in pain. He's just been shot. I took a step forward towards the police, but Dad's hand gripped my shoulder like a vise. His fingers dug down so hard, a jolt of pain shot down my arm. This doesn't concern you, but they are hurting him. The following scene may contain a realistic depiction of police ritual and amplification. We included this scene because it was important to writers on our staff with personal experience regarding this subject. If this subject is painful for you, you can stick a bit. Your choice will not affect the story. Continue. My dad tried to drag me away towards the exit, but I lunged back towards the bed with all my strength. Officer, you have got a spot. Stop. This is a hospital. He is here because he needs help. The nearest officer threw me a dismissive look before turning back to Naw and bearing down with even more force. Little help over here? The cop who had cleared me charged over and leveled his weight against Naw's chest, holding him down even as he screamed, Oh God. We are not playing games with you, punk. You are under arrest for burglary. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say. Get off me. Naw strained against the weight on his chest, but the officer grabbed his arm, wrenching it at the awkward angles in a fight of dominance. Stop resisting. Finally, the officer handcuffed him to the railing, and my dad gained the upper hand, hauling me out of the room by force. Is he gonna be okay? That is not our problem. How cruel. I shook my head desperately, trying to clear away the memory. You tried to convince me that he deserved what he got. Just coward you were. I didn't wait for a response before I turned my back on him and ran out of the house. Running had always been my way of de-stressing. As my feet pounded against the sidewalk, I tried to get a handle on my feelings. From that night on, even seeing Naw filled me with guilt and shame. He had betrayed me, and I hated him for that. But maybe I hated myself a little for what I did too. But there was never a clear reputation of him that he actually stole something. Before I knew it, I had made it to Addie's neighborhood. Across the street, I saw her and Mackenzie getting into Dad's car. I should tell her I miss her. Admit I am a huge idiot. Well, admit. But the words dried up in my throat. There was something I had to do before we talked it out. If I wanted to get back Addie, either as a friend or something more, I needed to settle things with Noah once and for all. Yeah, be best friends again, please. And so, here we were. I tracked Noah down in the cafeteria and we stood face to face again after all this time. Now, I want to talk about the night you robbed my family. Did you ever actually wanted to be friends? Hate me for throwing you to the walls? I swear, I didn't know what they were gonna do to you. You don't have to mince words. I just want some answers. I watched his face for any glimmer of truth. He looked at me steadily for a moment. Then, his face actually filled. Did he feel guilty? You're right about deserving answers. But it wasn't like that. I'll tell you everything. Not now, but soon. I promise. This is a suspense here. But here's the end of chapter 41, and I hope I get you to 42 soon. Thank you. Bye for till